Ladies and gentlemen, he is back. The busiest man in show business who works for Showtime, Paulie Malignaggi. How about that, Paulie?
Brendan, what's going on, man? How's it going?
What's up, brother? You're so damn busy, man. You're literally all over.
Yeah, man. It's a busy stretch for me. You know what it is? Sometimes I go through these busy stretches, and then sometimes I have a little bit of time to chill. But right now, it's been a little bit of a busy stretch, but for the most part, I enjoy it. So when you're enjoying what you do, it's not as bad even if you're working.
True. Where are you at right now? Because you were in Vegas working with Conor, correct? And then right now you're where?
I flew back to New York yesterday because I have to work the Broner Garcia fight this weekend. So we had to fly back. They had to fly me back yesterday, and just now actually I had to film a little set for Showtime with Pat Miletich. We did a little bit of a set discussing the Floyd and Conor fight. So between Floyd and Conor and Broner Garcia, this week is also a busy week.
Jeez, man. Have you met Pat Miletich before?
I hadn't met him before, but we hit it off today. Real cool guy, obviously the UFC Hall of Famer, and I love him. We have a lot in common and whatnot, and we had a good discussion.
Really good guy. Obviously, I don't want to give away whatever you guys did on the show, but is he giving Conor a chance?
Yeah, I mean, everybody in the mixed martial arts world, especially, has giving Conor a little bit of a chance. I think you'd be dumb to just not write Conor off totally. You know what I'm saying? I think for the most part, everybody understands Floyd is the favorite, but to write off a guy like Conor completely, I don't think it's feasible or even makes any sense. So obviously a guy like even Pat, he's going to favor Floyd, but of course, we understand that Conor has his chances, and it's a matter of him executing those chances.
Let's just get right into it too, Paulie. Obviously, I want you here to talk about, joining Conor's camp and help him out, and then you have to break down Garcia Broner. For those of you that don't know boxing, on Showtime this weekend, it's Garcia versus Broner. It is one hell of a fight. So we'll obviously break that down. But I got to jump right into it. You were in Vegas with Conor. You're kind of the only guy who, has experienced him firsthand as far as being a straight up boxer, especially at your world-class level. So just give me an overall, how'd it go? How was it going into there? Did you have any nerves, Paulie? Was it what you expected?
I said that I had nerves. I've sparred thousands of rounds in my life, and with a lot of good fighters. So it wasn't really more about nerves. But I was excited, just to be a part of something new, something cool, something that's being talked about right now. That's always an excitement value to that. I spent a few days there. We boxed Thursday, and the plan was for me to box Thursday, and I thought Saturday, but Saturday they passed on me. So I think we're gonna probably get back to work when I get back to Vegas next week. So thus far, we've only boxed just for one day on Thursday.
And then, where's this happening at?
Well, they've been boxing at the UFC headquarters. We've been working over at the UFC headquarters, which is, a bit more private. Obviously it's a gated community, as you might know.
Yep.
And not just anybody can walk in. So that's kind of the way it's been. And, obviously that's where you want it to be. It's only certain people allowed into the gym to see the workout, to watch the workouts and whatnot. And obviously, I'm sure.
And what's the vibe, Paulie? What's like the whole, the vibe of the camp? Is it good, or were they looking at you like fresh meat, or were they open-minded? How was the vibe of the whole?
I mean, listen, when you're in that sparring, I think everybody's meat. I think people have this big misunderstanding about sparring, that it's like playing patty cake. I think all sparring is everybody's meat. And you're looking to work and work hard. Because the only way you're going to get your mind into a place where it needs to be for fight night. And obviously your skills as well. So obviously the sparring was good work. It was 8 rounds, hard work. But overall, everybody's cool. And I'm getting to know everybody out there. I'm sure I'll get to know everybody out there a little bit better. Obviously Conor is very busy. His team is very busy. I'm staying over with the sparring partners and whatnot. And, just making some new friendships and chilling out. And, camp is not supposed to be super exciting. There's not much going on aside from training. But, of course, there's a motivating factor to it. And, it feels good to be around motivated people.
And who are the other guys in the camp? Like, obviously, you're by far the biggest name as far as boxing is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, sparring partners, that's another thing I don't think people realize is sparring partners do not, they don't usually come in as big names. I mean, people are sitting there kind of debating on whether how to use me as a sparring partner, or whether who to use as a sparring partner. You can't just go get big names as sparring partners.
No.
They don't do that. They have their own time, their own agenda, and their own schedule. They don't just they don't do the sparring partner thing. I just happen to have a little bit more time now that I'm not fighting. But the other sparring partners are Deshaun Johnson, who's a good fighter. He's been in there with a lot of different guys. He gets in there, makes you work, and he's been giving Conor some good work. And an amateur named Kieran Bradley, who's from Ireland, who's also a good little young fighter, and he's been doing well as well. Also, he has Artem. This guy Artem, I think, is an MMA fighter.
Yeah,
fighter.
Artem Lobov. Right?
Yeah, he's Conor's friend. Artem usually comes in at the end for some boxing and whatnot. So, and I'm sure, and I heard they were going to bring in some other guys this week when I was leaving, and I'm supposed to fly back in Monday. So, definitely a little variation of a lot of different work, and they're working on their specific things, and trying to get Conor to be the best he can be.
I mean, obviously you can't give away too many details because you're involved in his camp, and I completely understand that, Paulie. But when you that first round sparring with Conor, was there anything that was surprising, underwhelming? Is there anything that you were like, man, he needs to be careful of this, or he needs to keep doing? Was there certain, because you've seen it all, man. You've seen it all. You're a two-time world champion. So when you got in there, like, man, this is awesome, or did you see some glaring holes?
There's holes there, but there's also a method to what he's doing. It can come off as a bit strange, but he knows what he knows what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. That's what I've been telling people. It's kind of, I can't get into more details than that, but there's a method to what he's doing. Now, is it going to be effective completely? I don't know how effective it's going to be because that's up to him. But I think in some ways it can be effective. He can make it work for him. It's just the consistency to make it work and how long it can work for him. That's the thing, And I'm sure he's going to continue to keep working more and more in camp and continue to get better. And we'll continue to work and we'll continue to spar and hopefully, come along the right way.
And you said you sparred 8 rounds?
Yeah, we did 8 rounds. One thing, Conor has his people in the gym and it's very private. Me and Conor did 8 rounds that first night on Thursday. I was under the assumption we were going to go again Saturday, especially that I was leaving on Monday. I was ready to go Saturday, but they didn't work on me Saturday. So, probably maybe they'll reassess the work and get themselves ready for next week. And I'm sure, I have no doubt that they'll give me plenty of work when I get back there.
And so you sparred 8 rounds. You obviously gave them that work there. And then after, do you stay around and do you watch them spar those other guys and maybe give them some coaching or things you see here and there that could really help them come fight night?
I don't discuss tactics unless I'm asked. Conor has a great team around him. He has a very prepared team around him, and they know him very well. So I don't overstep my boundaries. I don't. Like on Saturday, I didn't box. He boxed the other guys, and I was in there, and I don't give my 2 cents unless I'm asked. If I'm not asked, I don't overstep my boundaries. It's not my place. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody. So I seen the boxing down Saturday with Bradley and with Johnson. And, I kind of just sat back and, just waited my turn to see, I helped out the 2 sparring partners in the corner and whatnot. I did my own workout and, we'll see. We'll wait for my turn when I get back.
Man, I hope they use you as a mind too,
It's up to them. I think they have a method to what they're doing,
Hopefully.
I don't overstep my boundaries. I think it's disrespectful to do that. And I would never do that. And I would never disrespect his coaches like that.
Sure.
So if I'm asked anything, then I would obviously, do my best to be helpful. But I only try to do what I'm asked. And right now I've just been asked to spar the one day, and we'll see if we'll see how often I get asked to spar when I get back.
Who's kind of the main guy directing Conor then? Because his coach John Kavanagh is, he's more of a grappling MMA coach. Who's kind of the voice for him as far as boxing goes?
I don't know, because he's got a bunch of guys over on his side of the ring. The thing with the gym is only his people are allowed in there. So I'm not sure who's a trainer, who's a photographer, who's a bodyguard, who's a hanger-on. I'm not quite sure what the difference is. I mean, who's a doctor? He's got all that on his side of the ring. So I'm not sure what and who's who. But he's got guys, giving him voices and giving him direction, and he's got his side of the team. And they're doing what they have to do.
And I heard the rumor around the water cooler is there's a lot of trash talk going on between you two, because you can talk some trash, Paulie, and then obviously Conor, that's his thing.
Well, yeah. I was a big trash talker when I was younger.
I know.
As you get older, you get to mellow it out. But we started that first round, and Conor got right on the talking. I mean, literally within a second, he was talking trash right away. So obviously, they started going back and forth, and I'm sure people saw the hands behind the back picture, online that was posted by Conor.
Yeah.
The ironic thing about the hands behind the back picture was that I did it first. I actually started the hands behind the back to him, and then we started doing it back and forth to each other. So
that's hilarious.
With Conor's photographers being the only ones allowed in the gym, obviously a picture that's going to be put online is going to favor Conor.
Of course, Paulie,
we were both having some fun, and we were both having it was obviously good work, serious work, but it was also, we were both having some fun with the trash talking as well, and the histrionics and snowboarding.
And then after you sparred 8 rounds, was there more? Not that he didn't respect you before. Obviously, everyone respects Paulie Malignaggi, for God's sakes. But was there more of a respect thing? Like, were you guys boys? Did he loosen up? Did you loosen up around him? Do you know how it is? Because I've been in new gyms, and when you're sparring, it's always kind of this weird kind of alpha thing going on. It's not an ego thing. It's more just you don't know each other, and then afterwards, you especially after you fight it out, it's all good.
Yeah. I kind of just vibe off of what people give me. Yep. I don't try to overstep my boundaries at all. So, if you give me more, I'll give you more. If you don't, I don't. So he came up to me afterwards, and he, thanked me for the work, and he told me to appreciate it if I would stay for the rest of the camp, and help him out. And I said, yeah, that's the plan. I have to leave this coming week for Broner Garcia, but the plan is for me to work with you the rest of the camp. So we'll get it done. And that was it. It was cordial. We didn't talk much more than that. We talked a little bit about Broner Garcia. He was giving me a couple of his inputs and whatnot on Broner Garcia. He's shocked so many people in Garcia because he thought Broner would win.
Oh wow!
And we talked a little bit about that, but it wasn't much else other than that. Conor's got to keep busy. He's got to keep focused. I don't expect him to come hanging out and go chill with everybody either.
Yep. And we'll move on after of Conor after this. But while you guys were sparring, and obviously, in this fight game, you don't kiss and tell, especially when you're in another man's camp. But was there big shots landed, Paulie? Give me something here. You've been in there. You're talking Cotto, everyone. I can go through the whole who's who that you've beat, the guys you've lost to. It's ridiculous. So just give me a little something here, Paulie.
We both landed some shots. Obviously, people saw some marks on my face. You got to keep in mind, I always wear the open face headgear. I wear the thinnest headgear allowed.
Like a gentleman. Like a goddamn gentleman, you do.
Because I like, not because I like to get marked up, because I really don't like to get marked up, obviously. I do that because I like to have as open a face as possible and be able to see things, And of course, that's going to give me less protection from the punch, So obviously people saw some of the marks on my face. And also, I haven't sparred in months. So when I don't spar in months, my face will mark up a little easier.
For sure.
Having said that, shots landed for both sides, actually. It was good work. Like I said, in 8 rounds, you're not going to be in the shot without getting wet. A couple of good shots landed from both of us. It was a little bit awkward work at times, a little bit rough at times, a little bit dirty at times. But it was work, and it was good work. What do you want to know if he hits hard? He's not a weak puncher. I'll say that. People are dying for me to say like, oh, he hits hard. Oh, this big left hand. Listen, if Conor hits
timing.
If Conor hits you, you're gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Brendan? He's a grown man, and I'd say he's an above average puncher. You know what I mean? Like especially if I could feel with the 16-ounce gloves that if he lands a shot with 10-ounce gloves, it'll probably get your attention.
Yeah.
Is it oh my God power? No, oh my God power is very rare. You know what I mean, Brendan?
Yeah, it's like a Mike
Like,
Tyson. Yeah,
oh my God power is like, I've sparred thousands of rounds in my life. I've sparred probably hundreds of people in my life. The people that I sparred, because I can't give you the people that I fought, because I fought them with 8-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
But I had the people that I sparred that had oh my God power. It's probably only a handful, but there's guys that, but Conor has respectable power, and if Conor hits you clean and he's wearing smaller gloves, odds are he's going to get your attention or rock you or even drop you. You know what I'm saying? I'll say it.
I think it's with Conor, obviously he has power, but I think it's more of his timing. It's that surprise factor, it's the timing that gets guys in a lot of trouble. Yeah,
and also, it's just different in general. Like I'll give you an example. Like for me, the strongest puncher I sparred with is Amir Imam. I've been sparring with him over the past year in Miami. My training camps in Miami. If anybody seen Amir Imam fight, he's got like highlight reel type of knockouts. You know what I'm saying? So And honestly, with 16-ounce gloves, I've been hit with right hand forearm mirror imam. Luckily, I've never been down from him. But I've been hit with right hand forearm mirror imam where I shook from my brain all the way to the bottom of my feet. You know what I'm saying? Where I was, whoa. You know what I mean? When I take a shot, and it's like, whoa.
Can't
you know
take too many of those.
Like you up, where you have to check if you're standing and if you're good. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of power. You know, it's like, and it's sharp right-handed kind of power. You know, and that's the kind of power I was assuming to see because everybody wants to give me this, this big shot. Listen, Conor doesn't have that kind of power. But Conor's got, power that if it lands with a small glove, listen, but you're probably going down. You know what I mean? You're probably going to get rocked. So, it's respectable power. It's respectable pop. And that's really all you need. The key is not so much the respectable power, respectable pop. The key is being able to land it cleanly. Because if you're able to land it cleanly, Conor will get your attention and Conor will do the damage. He's got to be able to land it cleanly. That's the trick here.
Yeah, correct. Let me ask you this, Paulie. Out of all the fights you've had against all these world-class boxers, who was the hardest hitter?
Out of all the fights I had,
not sparring.
You're wearing 8-ounce gloves. In fights, the hardest puncher was Miguel Cotto. The hardest hitter in sparring was probably Amir Imam, the guy I just described to you.
Yeah, especially when you fought Miguel Cotto.
Yeah, well, Cotto I fought with 8-ounce gloves. It's different, so I don't want to compare with Conor sparring with 16-ounce gloves. But Imam, who I was sparring, was wearing also 16-ounce gloves, and I sparred him probably 100 rounds over the course of a year in Miami. You know what I'm saying? So we did plenty of great rounds, and he does have consistent right-handed power, with sparring gloves, and he's actually a smaller guy than Conor. So what I'm saying is, the oh my God power is a rare thing. You know what I'm saying? But you don't just because you don't have oh my God power doesn't mean you don't hit hard enough to get respect.
Oh, I agree with you, Paulie.
Trust me, Conor hits hard enough to get respect. It's a matter of landing cleanly, wearing those smaller gloves. And he'll get his respect, trust me.
100%.